that we'll take through the Recreation and Park staff. So we'll have our structural maintenance staff look at it, get their input. We'll also have Steve's staff look at it, make sure the maintenance issues, there aren't any huge red flags with operations. So we'll have a chance for the department to vet and get their input about this. And then finally come back. I think our next meeting is October 1st. Same time, same place. And I also oh, I'm sorry, excuse me. The third one is on a Saturday. So mark the date. Just once I guys see you, we'll come back to you. I just did want to recognize some new arrivals. Supervisor Malia Cohen is here, and Megan Hamilton, her aide, who has been here quietly the entire time. And so we want to thank you for attending and showing your support to them. I want to make sure we get.
We didn't really discuss the border and the sound wall, and I think some consideration should be into money or making that more secure, so people can't, the homeless can't just easily hop it. If it were a, more of a hard-walled surface that you cannot easily climb rather than a chain-link fence, I think that would greatly enhance the sort of security and the less desirability. Yes, get rid of that and make it the sound wall that is harder to scale.
Yeah, but isn't that there could be the problem with the sound wall that you've actually created a place for them to be on the other side?
They're already there. It just makes them easier to go over. I mean, I see how easy they go over here in Vermont. I understand that problem, and any way you can stop it is great. They're going to be over there, but making it harder, I think.
Great, and all good comments. I just want to remind you, too, that if you did not get a chance to speak or didn't feel comfortable speaking, cards are at the front table with pencils, so please feel free to fill that out.
I'd just like to make one other comment, just following up as a finale kind of thing, is that I don't think there's some very significant concepts that we put on the table, and I think we should allow the community a chance to think about them. And, for example, I published a view, and I would be happy to publish that map in the next issue, to point out that there's some proposals on the table that are significant.
Yeah.
And we hadn't heard them before. And I don't know that we really have a sense of what our priorities are in the community as yet. And how, it was a very interesting idea you just presented. I'd never heard of it before, and it actually seemed very intriguing. But I don't know how that then, what that implies to the park and how it functions and the rest of the design of the park.
Yeah, and I just want to remind you, too, that there is always an option to have a fourth meeting. So if we do...
I get it. I'm not saying we should have a fourth meeting, but I do think that we need this information out in the community well beyond just people, including people who were here last time and left because they didn't think anything was going to happen. And now, so more conversation needs to happen.
Okay.
And I think we should have a fourth meeting.
I'm feeling, I don't know if, I think it's back to school time. And many in this neighborhood are part of the PTAs. There's back to school nights, there's meeting your teachers, and I'm hopeful that more of those people would have been here had it not been in September. This is a hard month for parents.
I also want to bring up that I think a good path forward would be to actually start associating costs with a lot of these tangible items. So let's say A could be leveling out that part, B could be something else, and then start coming up with combinations that add up to the $25,000 amount that we have right now, and start putting those to voters through surveys.
I think we were talking numbers that are quite substantial. So, but how about this? Next meeting is to have a cost associated with ideas and the different pieces, and then to have some scenarios about how it could be done. Maybe you certainly have some parts of the park that could happen regardless of what happens anywhere else. Those could be separated and defined. But there are some that have bigger implications. So how those are listed out and how they're kind of quantified matters. Yes?
But what everyone might not be aware of too is there's a park process. And I think the goal was just to get an overall concept in front of the park commission by the end of this year. Just something very general. And what that'll allow all of us then to do is let them kind of start their stuff, but it'll also allow some of our organizations to really start talking about it at the time, but also creating money. I don't think any of this was meant to be like, let's do this and this and this. I think that's the part that they didn't maybe remember from the first meeting. I didn't know, I don't know if they said it, but there's a park commission, their last meeting I think is in November, and the goal was to just float something very general in front of them to see if they were even going to support it, to sort of get us a green light. And then next year, we have plenty of time to meet. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right.
Well, so I think what I'm taking away is that we have to find a mechanism to get more clear consensus. And the next meeting, we should have a means to do that. And that should be the focus, perhaps more so than absolutely getting a sign-off on the final plan.
Exactly, yeah.
So if everyone's very comfortable at the end of that meeting, maybe we're done. But if not, then we should do another meeting.
Yeah, I have a strong feeling that because of where we are, if we could wrap some technology around this, we could get between the Pizza Block Spot, the Trail View, all the listservs in this neighborhood, we could generate a tremendous amount of feedback if there's just a decent web link attached to it. Or if you're comfortable sharing, say, I don't know how you feel about, these images or whatever, but if those can be published or
I totally agree with you. Who's going to volunteer to do that?
Man.
Who wants to do that?
We've been doing it.
Mark needs to be
Yeah.
going.
So let's get this information out to the public web. Probably a list should go out with everyone that we should hit to make sure that probably direct emails might follow up. Just like, hey, take a look at this thing.
Could you send us
Yeah, you can do PDFs.
Yeah.
Everyone will sign links to their email address,
Yeah.
so we can,
We're gonna wrap it up.
we can communicate with them. Good job.
Good job, guys.